TGIF. Thank goodness it's Friday. I can't wait. Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. What do we got going on here? Overall, currencies seem to be just like they were yesterday. Let's see. Let's go to the chat line. Let's see. Inbox. And chat line. Let's see. Right there. Dukascopy. Yay. There we go. And click the doodah. And let's see what we got going on right there. We got middle age. Hey, middle age. How you doing this morning? Yep. Gaining strength. It is. I'm kind of impressed because it really has been fighting it. There's no doubt about that. Let's take a look at it. You can see the Swiss right there on the screen. Oop, that's too big. And go like that. You can see, and that. Oh, let's see. Where do we do? We go from. What am I going to do? Let me close this. Let's see. Let's go with right here. Open Dukascopy Day Week Forex. Here you go, and we'll be able to take a look at it through Chicago Quant at the same time. There we are. Let's cancel out some of those bad programs that I wrote code to so long ago. A reminder, always. And as you can see right there, wow, that looks like a montage. That's the dollar ETF. You can see it's moving down. It's in the daily sell for 3 days. And then there is the Swiss. You can see the Swiss has broken that bottom part of that crazy little channel that's developed. The strength is there. Oh yes, on the euro. The one thing I'm still waiting for, that's it right there. It's so close. Let's just give it a refresh, but I know it's going to be sitting at the same spot. Is it sitting at the same spot? Yeah, look at it, just sitting right there. And the look at the reading on it. Minus 0.00090. And it's still just by the hair of its chinny chin trying to get into that weekly. It's just trying, and it's getting there. Now you can see, like, with the cable, no problem. It's in there pretty much all week long. It's been in there, and over on the Swissy, we went into the weekly sell last week. How come that doesn't have it there? Let's move that over. Because I'm almost dead sure. Let's check out the fact check spreadsheet. I'm sure it's been in there on the weekly sell. That's line 21, right? Yeah, there it is right there. Line 21. So it's been in a weekly sell for 1 full week. I can't believe I don't have that up on there. And, it's been in the daily sell. What is that? 4 days now. Let's widen that out on the Swiss. So, right there. This is 4 full days. 5 full days. Okay. No, that's what happened. We had a volatility signal. We had a red and a green. And we were prepared for the start of this bar to play the short side as long as it was below the close there. And sure enough, that's been in the sell since there. So that's been that winner chicken dinner. So that's where we are. Let's see. Middle age says euro is gaining strength against the dollar. Yes, the D. Yeah, well, Biden is not doing us any favors. He keeps on saying incredibly strange things. What they're doing it for is the election again. They're trying to pull an election like they did in 2020, where they're able to, flood the place with illegal votes. In other words, they force people not to be allowed to vote in certain states, but it's not going to work because they passed laws against it, so they can't do that again. And that's what's driving, Mr. Biden and his people to come up with, what did they do? They found a variant from an Indian, from India, that is not licensed in the United States, that is decaying, I guess it is, or it's degrading. I guess the best word in science they refer to it as degrading, and so for that reason they want to mask us all up again and so forth and close the society down. I mean, that's all. It's just political. It's nothing more than that. but the markets are probably not the happiest about it. You can probably see it in the sense of right there. Let's move this. What do I do? I guess I go like this instead of moving one around to the other. I go like that. And as you can see right there, that's silver, of course. And silver's trying also, middle age, as we speak about trying right there. It's trying to get into the buy. And you can see here, there's the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ future is mainly probably down because of Amazon, you know. Let me see if I can show you that. There it is right there. Here is Amazon. That's Mr. and Mrs. Amazon this morning from the earnings yesterday, which didn't surprise me. And I kind of thought that's what the daily sell was trying to tell us. I thought they were, you know, they'd been warning us for a couple of days that there was pressure on the product. And the insiders knew that the numbers weren't going to match up. And now you can see that they've actually gone through. If it stays down here and they don't rebound very well over the next, and that is today's trading to start off with. We'll see how well that rebounds. But you can see they're flirting with the weekly sell. Now, same token, you can see, you know, the money is trying to move back into the Apple. You can see that. We got a potential. You can see it moving up here, and it's in a weekly. But when we go and look at the stock indices themselves, what Dukascopy refers to as the Tech 100, and pretty much a lot of other places still do that. We just call it the NQs nowadays, since it's the major exchange in the country. You know, you can see right there the NQs are moving down. Nothing too major. I think they're off. So I guess if we look at it this way, they have it listed as down 167 points from yesterday. Right there. And you can see right there, there it is. There's a good short term. And you can see down 168 points as we speak right there. See it right there? 168 points, 167.75, 168.25. You know, overall, that's what they're saying. And the pressure has been down. It got down. But I think that's what it's all about. It's the Amazon. It's really driving it at the moment. You know, there's so much capital out there. You know, there's so much money trying to find a place to make some money that it's really hard for anybody to want to sell any of these assets that actually pay dividends and have growth and so forth. And you can see here the S&P 500 acting somewhat of the same way, down 27 points. Pretty aggressive, you know, down 27 points. Normally that would make the Dow down 260 or 70 points. But as you can see right here, you know, that's down 27 points. And you can see the Dow Jones Industrial Average is only down 83 points. So again, money coming in, you know, not you know, running for the exits. And you can see it here on the S&P 500 on a daily. You know, we're in a daily sell for a couple of days, and it's going up as much as it's going down. And you can see here the weekly is so strong, it's like laughing at it, like sure. And then here's the Dow Jones Industrial Average. You can see same situation, flatlining on those all-time highs. We're in a daily sell for a couple of days, but again, the weekly is so strong. We'll see if they can start to turn this, and we're going to go into August now. You know, Monday's going to be August, and we have seen over the decades, you know, major tops occur, literally over the century. You can say over the last couple centuries, you can see that a lot of tops come into the August months. In other words, I guess everybody comes back from vacation and goes, my fund is up 15% or 12% or 19% or 28%. Maybe I think I'll take a few profits. And we could be seeing that coming on, you know, especially with the action Mr. Biden has been doing. You know, it's pretty blatant. Everybody sees it. If we had a more open, independent media, the rest of the world would see it. Instead, they're just following the old media networks. And so they're not seeing it, since the 5 major or 6 major networks are you know, owned by the Democrat Party, you know, their followers and so forth. So, you know, they're making money from it all in the end result. So they don't care. This is, in many ways, history may, you know, it's very odd, but history may show I guess, like you could say, like the political mob, gangster environment we went through in the later part of the 20th century and the early part of the 21st century. And the kind of the pinnacle of it all may be the COVID. You know, how it was not anymore it was a facade. You know, it was basically a facade in the end result. Uh, you know, because if you believe in the COVID the way the media talks about it, then they kind of forget the idea that 90% of the heart patients in the United States didn't occur last year. At the same time, 90% of the cancer patients did not die. And at the same time, less people died in 2020 than they did in 2019 or 18. So something's wrong there. You know, it's not like the Spanish flu where you had like 18 million more people dead in 1 year. You know, it's the reverse. There's less dead. But they say, you know, 600,000 are dead. And it's not because of heart disease or cancer anymore. It's because of COVID. And so, you know, that's what it's all about. Anyway, that's what we may be looking at. And like I said, it's a you know, why we see these weekly buys is that money hasn't decided what to do. But if Mr. Biden keeps on pulling news conferences like he did last night, he's going to scare the dollar more and more, and he's going to scare the currency, not the currency, the stock equities and so forth. And that's pretty much a lot of mumbling going on. A lot of people are very upset that you know, they want to mask us up all of a sudden out of nowhere on nothing, and that's really got a lot of people frustrated. I'm talking about, you know, we have, what is it? We have 80% of people over the age of 65 who have the cure have taken the inoculation, or as in England they call it the jab, and people from 65, or is it 65% of people over 50 have done it. So the majority of the country is inoculated, so that creates like a herd immunity at this point. So now you're telling people we have to start all over again. That's kind of freaky. It makes people doubt the leadership and the truthfulness of it all. So anyway, that's where we are. And so we're watching the weeklies. We see these weeklies, you know, they had some nice super runs. We're at all-time highs, and all of a sudden, you know, the dailies actually get 3 days in on a sell. And we start to wonder, are we starting to see that August top that occurs? And Sunday starts August. So that's going to be very interesting. You know, usually it happens somewhere around the 12th or the 14th, something like that, about 1 or 2 more weeks out. We start to see, when you look on the old charts, like the crash of '87, you know, all these charts, you know, the 1982 bull market, they all start going into the 2nd and 3rd week of August. They always do. They seem to, somewhere around the first 10 days, something develops. And you can see it in the charts when you go, wow, look at that. That started right there. And that's what we're coming into, is that point in time and space that occurs. You go back to 1929, same thing. Markets topped out in the summer of 29, and the crash came in October. And same thing with the crash of '87, the Boski crash of '85, you know, so forth and so on. You know, you see it all start off right around the early part of August. So Middle Age says, my 80-year parents are pushing me hard to get the vaccine, but I've been holding out, Doc. Me too. I'm not taking it. If I had to take any of them, I would take the one shot from Johnson & Johnson. That's about it. But I'm not into it. You know, I think I've already had COVID. I think I had it back in February of 2020. I had COVID. Knocked me down for 4 or 5 days. I did a webinar that morning. I don't remember a third of it. Matter of fact, I should go back and try to listen to the YouTube of it. I climbed into bed, went to sleep right after the webinar, woke up around 5 in the evening. The next day I was sore, not feeling well, still bad, but I was better than the day before. Still bad. Then the next day, better. It took about 5 or 6 days since it was the winter. No one was really paying attention to anybody. And then the COVID started in March. So this was the beginning or middle of February. So I hear you. I myself, if I have to take a shot, it will be the Johnson & Johnson. It's a single one shot. It's about 9 or 10 years old. You know, it's fine. It gives women some problems when they have, hemoglobin and blood problems or something like that. I don't know. The heart disease or something like that. I don't know. Would they have 6 deaths out of 10 million or something like that? I mean, that's not even a statistical rounding. That's not even, you don't even pay attention to numbers like that. But, here in the States, the political party of choice likes to make issues out of all of it. All right, now let's drift over to, where did we start off with? We talked about the euro. And again, we would like, where's it at? Right there. We would like to see, and that's the Swiss. Let's go over to the euro again. We would like to see this thing get going. Right there. And, with it so close to the 0 line, if we get any more strength out of this next week, it's going to jump like the way the cable is over the weekly. I had COVID this time last year. I was sick, but got better after a couple of weeks. Felt like a strong flu. Yeah, exactly. It depends on your health. If you have a good immune system, I mean, I know people who have had the COVID and got through it over 5-6 days like myself. No major shakes. I know people who have literally gone into the hospital for it and they come back out again. Now, if you're 80 years old or 85 years old and you're not healthy, it is a death-defying thing. There's no doubt about it. It is. It's an aggressive flu. It has a 3.21 growth rate. In other words, one person that has it can affect 3.21. The variant right now has an ability to affect, one person can infect 8. Problem is that their death rate is incredibly low. That's the problem, and that's how you should measure everything in life, when it comes to health and science, and that is the death rate. If the death rate is high, you better do something about it. But if the death rate is enormously low, like the variant is, there ain't much to be done about it. It's just like, okay, yeah, wash your hands, eat healthy, so forth and so on. All right, let's see, where we go from here, besides medicine, and remember, Doc was a pre-medder for a while. Let's check out, we looked at the cable. Let me just do that again real quick. There it is right there. You can see the cable. No problem. It's going to be, in a weekly buy, unless they knock down King Dollar. And after Mr. Biden's attempt to terrify the country last night, and people are kind of laughing at him, saying, "What's wrong with this guy?" That's what happens when you steal an election and you really didn't get voted in. It makes it harder to rule. All right, so end result is that, and you can see all the states now that the 6 states that issued him a pass, they tried to take it away from him on January 5th and 6th, and it didn't work. They created these goofy stories. But anyway, they've already passed it. Arizona says he didn't win the Arizona race at all. So, and it's going to be that way in all the other states in the end. Georgia's doing the same thing right now. He didn't win Georgia now either. So, that's what's going on in state legislatures. States have power. They really do. All right, here is the cable. That's what we're looking at. All right, now let's drift over to the Turkish lira. And you can see this thing is rolling over. That's probably King Dollar having its issues. And you can see it's also falling out of that weekly buy. I guess we should have put a little circle there to emphasize it like we did right here. Let's grab a hold of this circle. How do we grab a hold of that? Maybe that one right there? There it is. There we go. One big circle. And then we move it over to here. And then we move it down like so. And that was through the buy all week long. But who told us no? And let's see what the numbers look like. Let's look at it there. It's minus 0.0011. But who was really telling us, no, don't worry, be happy? And that was the euro against the Turkish lira. Yeah, the euro against the Turkish lira. Let's take a look at that. Right, where is it at? Right, it's going to jump out of this. There it is. Now this couldn't get through the weekly buy at all this week. And it's in the daily sell for the 2 days now. Or one day going on a second day. So this thing looks like it might try to come down and support this area here now, since they've made new lows past to that one. And we'll see how they hold up there. Now Canadian Canadian rolling down the same way, rolling with the homie, getting strong against the dollar, just like the way the Turkish lira is. We're like 3 days, this is the third day now in a daily sell. See if it closes there. Right there. Oh, there's a couple of daily sells that we're missing. Isn't it like that? Yeah, I guess that's what it is. And then we did a buy there for 1 day, and then we did a sell again right there, which really didn't take you anywhere. I love it when it does that one. It's kind of like the tip-off that something really is brewing when it gets into this, it tries to go into a buy here and then fails, and it's always that tip-off, the 1 day, and boom, back into it, and then all of a sudden you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 going on 8 days, but only 7 of them or 6 of them been in sells, which says, hey, something's wrong here. I think it's the classic R and Elliott, A, B, and that's the C. That's how that goes. And let me draw that in there. That could be fun. Let's try that again. There we are. The A, then it does the B, and goes almost nowhere. And now we are in the C, the Charlie side of it. Like that, making the new low. And that's the classic. Now, if it was in a weekly sell here, boy, would that have been a chicken winner altogether. But instead, you're just basically standing to the side, and you didn't not long here. You're just not short. That's the way the system works. Where do we go from here? From here, we go to. Oh, I know. We go over to the energies now. So we go and take a look at. Let's do that. So that's there. And what we'll do is we'll switch this up. And then again, there's that. So let's put the energies. Let's use J4X a little bit here. We haven't done that yet because I'm rambling about medicine and COVID. There's the oil market showing the strength here. Let's see what Chicago Quant's got going on. I can't remember what it was doing. I know I sent the charts out this morning, but I just don't remember. Right there. Okay, yeah, so it's firm. Same way, green dots, just like on the Chicago Quant. The J4X is doing the same thing. White line above what I'd like to call the three-dimensional zero line, or the golden dashed line. And you can see here, same situation. Histogram is plus. Green line is even through the time manifold, even it's getting stronger again. And we're in that weekly buy now. Full 9 weeks, going to be a 10th going in on Monday officially. So that strength is still there in the energy sector. Now we go and we look at gold. Trying to hold up, but right now we're seeing a little weakness, nothing major, but we can't get the weekly to go. And that's Robin and I were discussing that a lot this morning. And so we got this thing's breaking down now. When we sent this out, it wasn't breaking down. It's breaking down more now. And look at the weekly, it just can't. Whereas over in silver was right on the edge, and it still is. Look at that. But look at the gas. The gas is really warning you that they tried to get it up, and they can't even get up through the time manifold like they did here. At the very end, and then breaking down, and you get this weakness, or here, and you get this weakness from it afterwards, or here you get some weakness from it right there. So in other words, it's like you see the green line come up, touch the blue dashed line, the second standard deviation, and it starts to break down like it did right here, and you can see the pressure on the product. And so this needs to go through down here to give us a lift again, like that did. And we don't know how serious that lift will be, how much money will come in, but right now these weeklies are screaming at us, do not try to get long it yet. We're still waiting. And who knows, for those metals traders out there, we have also seen where metals turn around in August. So in other words, they go on, like we're 11 weeks now, as you can see on the spreadsheet. On the fact check spreadsheet, we have silver in 11, is it? Or is it 12? Platinum is 12 weeks in a sell right there. Let's see if we can highlight both of them. So platinum is 12 weeks in a sell, silver is 11 weeks in a sell, and gold, I guess we should do all of them like that. And gold is 7 weeks in a sell. So, maybe, going into the early August, what we'll do is we'll see these things bottom, we'll see maybe the stock indices go into a weekly sell, and then we'll see this pressure breaking down altogether, And that could be literally the gist of it all, really. That literally could be. All right. Where else do we go from here? And so let's see. We are. Let's see. We've seen the metals. We've seen the energies. And so we can now drift it back over to the currencies. That's what we do, because no one's asking for anything particular. It was just middle-aged that was talking about, oh, middle-aged, let's check out coffee au lait. Let's see what coffee au lait is doing. Let's see if the ETF is moving. Yeah, there it is. So they're putting more pressure on this thing. It's this move into the buy was very curious here. And then right there, it just missed it. It was 0.03. Boy, it just almost got into the sell there. But today, it's not having that much of a problem pushing into the sell. We'll see. Look at the gas though. Gas 7. The green line is still above the second standard deviation. The green line on the gas line is well above the histogram. This might be one of these. And then, are we going to see more of that? Oh my goodness gracious. Could you imagine if we actually dig in our heels and it stays in the weekly buy and we get, like, what's this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days with a volatility signal, right there. So maybe we got 1, 2, 3, this is the 4th. Maybe Monday to Tuesday we get a volatility signal and then this thing turns back up again. Are you going to be like, like Roy Rogers with guns blazing coming into the coffee market? Guns blazing. Let's see. Going to get long silver calls when the weekly. Oh, I hear you. I'm watching. Trust me. Robin and I are thinking the same game. Yesterday, he was on the phone with the Mint, looking at the 1,000 box. Where you buy 1,000 coins. Yeah, we hear you. We're right there with you. Yeah, let's see what Tags is doing. Tags was kind of funny. Oh yeah, here let's fix that for you. Where are we at? There it is. Yeah, so there's the that's what I was talking about. You can imagine if we're doing this. That's what we're doing right now. We're doing that same thing, and then it goes down and scrapes the weekly, comes back up out of it again. Can you imagine the move? Oh my God! Robin's totally convinced that it's going to make a dash towards over the 3s. And now we go to, where was I going to go to? Where was I talking about? Oh yeah, Tags. Let's go check out Tags. Tags. Let's see, where's that at? There's Tags. There's Tags. Yeah, Tags is lifting up. Now there's funny, we're getting the volatility signal. And the histogram is minus, but look at the way this rocket shot on the gas line 3 is taking off, and it's launching itself. So Tags is, what did I see? I think I saw over on, what was it? There's wheat this morning. Now wheat is that's deck wheat is down a little bit. Nothing major in the pre-market. Sep wheat, on the other hand, well, that's yesterday. I'm not sure why it's not updated. Let's see if we can find an update on that. So it's moving down too, but still bullish. And then the weekly is very solid. And then, what I saw, I think corn was taking off this morning. Now where'd that go? Oh yeah, there it is. So now that's the 29th. Where's the 30th? I had it in the chart when we sent it out this morning. There it is. Okay, so this is lifting up, but this is moving down a little bit. We got a green dot. We'll see. This is a pre-market. It's not really active. It's more of a sizing up. That's what we refer to it as, sizing up, bids and offers. Is there bean pressure today? There's beans. There's the 29th. Again, none of these got the update going in them. What's going on there? This is the sizing up on the upside. Yeah, there's that pressure. So, and this has been, well, it's been in a sell from, got a volatility signal here. We've been in a sell, but it's not, you know, it's been trapped inside of it all. It's definitely higher than when it went into the sell right here. There's the sell. And so, but look at the weekly. You know, the weekly's not giving up. So, got to be cautious not to try to get too shaken from that one. All right, now let's drift over to, let's take a look at the ruble. We're going to look at the ruble, and we'll look at the yen. Take a look at the South African peso and the Mexican rand. All right, there's the ruble. And you can see it's still in a sell. The weekly is starting to pierce the time manifold. And so once it breaks the nonlinear time manifold, it starts to indicate, you know, more weakness, like here, you know, that type of thing. And when it breaks through it, there's strength, so forth. Then heading over to, what did I say? Oh, there's the yen. The yen, wow, there's an interesting spike. Does that mean dollar is going to start firming up? And you can see here, it looks like it's going to easily close in a weekly sell, though. So this might be just a dead cat bounce. I mean, we got a red dot. You know, it's higher than yesterday, and it's trying to turn up, but that's standing there in its way. A little pressure in the beans. And then we go over to the South African rand. Right there. That's kind of like unchanged. But we have been seeing strength in the metals, so that's a good thing. In the sense that, you know, this is moving with the metals market again. And then last but not least, we go over to the Mexican peso. Right there. You can see now that's still fighting to get into that weekly buy. Even with, what is it, 2, 4, 5 full days in a sell going on a 6th and making, did they make a new low? I don't think they did. There's the low yesterday of 1981.68, and that is at 1983.12. So no, they didn't make a new low yet. But we are on the lows of the day just about. So this is going to be the horse race today. This is going to be the classic, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time will be like, where's it at now? It'll be like, oh no, it's 0.000. How many times have we seen that one where it drives you that crazy, That crazy. And then, let's see, that's the euro. Oh, let's look at this one. The euro against the GBP. We don't look at that enough. But look at that, it's fighting to try to get in. I guess that says that the cable is trying, but we're still in a weekly sell for a couple of weeks there. So, all right. Anybody want to see any particular other product? A New Zealander or something like that? There's New Zealand is pushing itself back into the weekly sell. And what other products that we're not? Oh, let's look at the Zloty, the euro against the Zloty. What a steady currency that is. A couple days in a sell now, but it's been in a weekly buy since, where's it at? Basically back in here somewhere. I guess like right there-ish. In the 450 area, say. And it's traded all the way up to the 450, the 460 area. So, that's been looking pretty firm and consistent also. The Zloty against the euro, or the euro against the Zloty, however you want to phrase it. All right, from there, let's see, we saw silver, we saw gold, and if anybody wants to see them again, just say so, and we will go back to them. What can we chase after? Now, I guess what we do is we take a look at Maybe take a look at copper. We didn't take a look at copper. We dodged that. I think it's jumping back into the daily buy or something like that. Let's see, where is it at? Right there. Oh, right there. There it is. Let's switch back over to that. Right there. Yeah, so I thought this morning it was trying to show life in it. At one point it was much higher. But you can see, yeah, I guess, now what's that all about? We got a red dot in there all of a sudden, and it's not in a buy, that's for sure. Remove that. And it went into the sell here, but we're higher. I guess at one point it really showed that it was in a buy. And sometimes, I don't know, let me give it a refresh. Sometimes it's amazing, they just change data out of it altogether, and the brokerage houses and everybody send new data out and readjust the highs and the lows and the closes, and next thing you know, what it was yesterday it is not today. It's so weird to see them do that. Someone asked me about black pools yesterday. Who was doing that? Someone asked me about black pools. Was it Robin was talking to me about black pools? Someone was asking me about it. It wasn't Robin. Someone I was talking on the phone with asked me about black pools. I explained it to them, and you know, there are black pools for the futures too, just as much as there are black pools for the stocks. That's the problem. So they hide everything. Where else are we at this point? I guess that's about it when it comes to the metals complex, and also nat gas. Let me just show you what nat gas is doing. There's the SEP nat gas, and as you can see here, move that there. Move that out of the way. And you can see right there, we're trying to lift back up. We're in September, nat gas. I don't see it saying it on there, so let's make that say it on there. I don't think we have anybody following SEP or nat gas anymore. Boy, what a good product it's been. Our math has picked up on it enormously well. We've been in a buy for, what does it say on the fact check? 15 weeks. We've been in a buy for 15 weeks back here from the 280 area. So, and you can see the distances between the buys and the sells are pretty good. A lot of winner chicken dinners, like right there. Now that is being pushed over to that now. Either way, that's a winner chicken dinner. So, nat gas has been an interesting one. You know, we're coming into the winter months here in the northern hemisphere. We're heading for August, so what's fall is in September, is it? Right? Yeah, so like summer is the summer solstice in June. So July, August, and September, yeah. So we got one more month of the summer month, and then we're into the fall. And so what we're seeing is, you know, there's been pressure in this product for 15, this is going to be the 16th week. 16 divided by 4 is 4 months. It's a quarter of the year. It's a third of the year. Not even a quarter. It's a third of the year has been in a buy. I mean, we go into another 2 months of this in buys. We're talking about natural gas being in a weekly buy now for 6 months. That's amazing. You know, I mean, I have a hard time believing they're going to sell it too much in the with winter coming on. I can't imagine them wanting to push it down. Maybe it'll go in and out with a new spike high. Who knows? All right. Now we did this before too. We talked about the natural gas a few days ago. Let's look at it on J4X. I think we went back. It hasn't been this high since 2018. There it is right there. And let's look at it on a monthly basis. Now I thought we did the same thing. We looked at the nat gas, and we had not been in this area since mid-2018, going 3.5 years back. So that's pretty exciting stuff. Yeah, I hear you. It's 15 weeks. That's what's good about the fact check spreadsheet. You just look on that every day, and on the on the spreadsheet. and you go, oh, okay, there's a one like right now, the Euro G. Let's see, was it? Let's find one of those besides the Euro GBP, but like the dollar Swiss, is 1 week in a sell now. I mean, 10 weeks from now we could be sitting here if the dollar starts to fall apart and Mr. Biden keeps on pulling shenanigans on the American public. The world is going to get a little bit more nervous about it all. That type of thing. Or the Canadian, 10, or well, look at the yen. The yen was 10 weeks in a buy. It builds each week. The fact check spreadsheet confirms what's going on every day. It's reinforcing it, over and over and over again. So it's well worth looking at the fact check spreadsheet on the webinar. Going back even on the YouTubes and taking a look at the fact check spreadsheets from 3 months ago or 6 months ago or 9 months ago or whatever. You start doing that. As you can see here, same thing with Turkish lira. It's been in a sell from this week here. And it finds its way down, does the ABC. It does the same pattern there. All right, what else we got brewing here, traders? We still got a good 15 minutes, so we can look at almost anything. We can go over to the stock indices and take a look at them. Unless somebody wants to see a currency, we can go look at a currency too. Take your choice. It's dealer's choice. Ooh, a cup, please. Yes, indeed. A cup of tea would be lovely. Yeah, indeed. All right, what am I going to do here? Where am I headed? I'm just answering somebody at the same time on a fact check, or not on a fact check, but on a text. All right, let's go over to. Let's see, which one is it? We go here, and we go to there. Is it right there? Yeah, that's it. And we'll go take a look at. Where's it at? Let's take a look at the NQs. I think we already did this, did we? I was mumbling about this in the beginning. There's a lot of strength in that stuff, just a lot of strength. And that's what we're really at the moment. We're all waiting. That's what it really is. So, I mean, if you're watching any particular product and you're wondering what kind of strength or weakness we're seeing, just shout it out. We'll take a look at it. Because at this point in time, the stock indices are just being them. They're just being them. Let's see, what else we got going on here? I'm trying to find something to chase after. What can we chase after here that relates to the currencies that the metals complex does? Let's look at platinum real quick. That's the last of the metals we haven't looked at, and they're just flirting with the bottom of this whatever this base is, and it's 12 weeks in a weekly sell. It's been in a weekly sell since back here. So that's what that's been. That's since the 1250 area, 1225 area. Now it's trading in the 1044 area. So platinum has been pushed hard. Is the GLD weekly going to close in a buy? Boy, Rob and I were kicking that one around an hour and a half before the webinar today. Let's check that out. We want to jump in on this metal move. And there's the GLD. And it's been interesting in the sense that it's holding up. It's above the zero line. It really looks like that's going to be a real curious one, at the end of the day. That is really going to be, we'll see how that, plays out. And then look at GDX. We've got a client chasing after GDX at the moment. And that one hasn't done the weekly, and that's going to jump into the weekly. We are dying to get long. I can't tell you how much we're dying to get long in the metals complex. We want to get into the metals complex so bad, and it just isn't happening, because we can't get into that buy, I mean, that's really where it's at. Q4. And so that's I mean, we are dying to get. Matter of fact, look at SL. Look at the. We're following this now. Right there. And it's trying also. This is the ETF of the silver market, and we want so bad. I was bidding on it yesterday, and it ran up to like 91, and then, you know, I was bidding 70 at the time. Now it's trading at 60. Now where's it? 69. They're saying right there. It was down to 63 at one point this morning. So I don't know. I mean, I want to be long. I believe this thing wants to take off. I mean, it seems to be screaming that it wants to take off. And you know what? A lot of times you get into that weekly buy, you get that initial pop. It sells back down a little bit, but doesn't make a new low, and then you get that strength again. And it turns up even more. You know, so that's where we are at the moment. Is like, you know, we know that these products want to go. It's just the Federal Reserve has such power over them, and there's not much you can do about it. You know, and that is unfortunately where it stands, and they cannot afford to have. You know, they just can't afford to have the metals market take off. That will terrify. You know, that will terrify the marketplace, and there will be, you know, something going on. The funds will start to shift their portfolio size, and when they shift their portfolio size, it'll be like, ouch. That means the Fed has to buy even more, and they're trying to taper, and, you know, so we're really stuck in that situation. You know. That is what it is. All right. What else can we look at here? You know, over in this particular arena. Let's see what Apple's doing. Apple is slowly drifting down again. It was up at one point this morning, a little bit higher, and it's starting to roll over. Let's see what they're doing to Amazon. Amazon's making even lower lows, so it's taking out even lower of the lows. So we'll see. I guess the only thing we can really, you know, trust in is if we see the stock indices really get beat up like this, you know, they start to challenge next week, the weekly, then, you know, you could probably feel a little comfortable. Maybe portfolios are adding another half, you know, I don't know, a 0.5% of metals in their portfolio, you know, just for the old-fashioned, you know, 3 to 5%. Remember, before listed options, there was the theory that, you know, you moved between 3 and 5% of your portfolio into the metals complex as you were lightening up on the stocks. Yeah, I know. I mean, we really are. I mean, it's, you know, I can't tell you how many different ways we've been, we've been looking at it. We really have, and how much we want to get in there. Like I said, Robin was on the phone yesterday talking about the seller to 1,000 coins in a box. We were trying to get the prices to figure out, you know, what the market's doing overall. We are there. I hear you. You know, what else? Let's see. What else could be a tip-off? I mean, we see all the signs here. The question is, you know, if there wasn't quantitative easing, here's something we should take a look at. This is this morning? Yeah, it is. This is the VIX. All right? Look at this. The VIX is making a jump. It's not lifted this stuff up yet. But look at the weekly. It's very close. You know, we think that it may work in unison. You'll see the stock indices breaking down. You'll see the metals complex moving up. Again, if there was no quantitative easing, there'd be no problem. We'd be long already. I would be jumping the gun. I literally would. But with quantitative easing, the math is so much truer in the sense that if the Fed doesn't want it to happen, it won't happen. And that is, don't fight the Fed. You just can't fight them. They just have so much power. It's not like the days where you were dealing with the fund managers and the mutual funds and the hedge funds and the retirement funds, and you were dealing with the brokerage houses who had trading desks, and you were dealing with the banks who had trading desks, and they were all taking proprietary positions, and they were accommodating their customers. Those days are gone. That's why it's always irritating when you see somebody trying to tell you about how they made their money in that universe and act like as if you can do it today. I mean, we are down 80 or 90% in trading desks in major banks. We are down 80, 90% of traders on trading floors, if not 90 some odd percent. They don't exist anymore. Orders don't even make it to the floor. The dots, you can see my dots are so sensitive that they pick up the change overnight or 2 days later when the clearinghouses change the high and the low to products because they have trades. They've got to when you're a public product being traded and listed on an exchange, you must report the last transaction. Well, the Securities Exchange Commission and the CFTC have eluded that since quantitative easing. So in other words, the Securities Exchange Commission allows the dark pools to do transactions and not report it for 2 or 3 days. Once they report it, they let it go into the system and it changes our charts. That's what you see there. And the CFTC does the same exact thing. They allow dark pooling to go on in the same fashion. And so we see it in the charts like a day or two later. That's probably why when we go to, here's the perfect example. When we go to the Forex, where's that? Let's go to Forex. That's why I always say in the Dukascopy webinars, Forex is probably like the purest of trading at this point in time. Like there is the dollar, Turkish lira, but let's look at, say, the euro. They're not going to change the high and the low on the cash and the spot, because they just don't. And so we don't see like all of a sudden there's a red dot there 3 days later. They haven't changed the information. They haven't changed that. It's not like they're doing it. Whereas they do it in futures and they do it in stocks. 2 and 3 days later, the high and the low can be different. We save charts on these things. And you go back and look at them and go, wait a minute, that wasn't the high that day. And then it's all of a sudden, now that's the high that day. Well, I'm not doing it. It's being done through the clearinghouses, which is being done through the exchanges. Because, someone is finally, after 2 days of transacting it, they put it into the system. So they go back 2 days ago, and all of a sudden, oh, guess what? Someone traded it through that limit. So that's where we're at. So that's what's so pure about the Forex trading, is that it's much cleaner. They're not manipulating it in the same fashion as they do brazenly and abusively by changing highs and lows 2 and 3 days later, changing volume, changing the close, stuff like that occur. Or the close stays the same, but they've reduced all the rest of it around it. All right, we got about a minute and a half. Anybody want to see anything particular? If not, we're going to jump out of here. I guess what we got to do is we got to also figure out what title we should use today. Let's see who that was. Someone just rang me. Do. And so, oh, so lovely. Yes, indeed. All right. Now let's find a title for this. What should we call this? I don't even know what to call today. What did we talk about today? We talked about the same stuff we normally do. How about if we do gold? We really emphasized on gold today. You know, we do gold and the euro right on the edge of the weekly, but it hasn't gotten there. I mean, you know, that's a real challenge to this marketplace at the moment. Cable going into the buy, that's pretty cool. You know. All right, Middle Age, we will catch you on the flip side. See you on Monday, or TGIM. Thank goodness it's Monday. Traders, we're going to get out of here, and we will catch you all. Everybody have a safe and a smart weekend. And we will start this all over again on Monday and see who's jumping into the weeklies, be it whatever direction, be it the weekly sell or the weekly buy. Happy trails to you until we meet again. I should have the background song going. Should be that thing going on. So happy trails to you, to all our Dukascopy trading friends. Be safe, be smart, traders.